everybody. How is everybody doing? So glad to see our Breakthrough RE group members here and guests here today. Happy to have you here for our weekly Wednesday webinar. We have some good stuff for you today. So love seeing all of our participants. Do me a favor in the chat. Tell me where you're from. We've got people all over the country. So do me a favor, give me a shout. Let me know that you guys are out there and tell me where you are from. Oh, I love it. Travis, Colorado Springs. Welcome to have you here. Love it. Florida for Stacy. Stacy, I hope everything's okay there. Glad you are here. Lots of love for you, for sure. Thomas E. at Scottsdale. Good to see you. Hey, I am loving to see everybody. Love having you here. I'll bet you are excited for today's topic. Today's topic is all about lead generation, old school versus new school. And let me tell you what, this has been one of the biggest topics I've been talking about with all of my clients, man, over the past, probably since COVID, maybe even over the past year, it's been a really hot topic. So that's why I really wanted to chat about it today. But for those of you who do not know me yet, let me share a little bit about myself. So I've been a realtor since 2009. I actually started managing real estate companies in 2012. I am a former Keller Williams CEO and team leader. I'm a neurolinguistic programming practitioner. I'm an instructional designer. I was Rookie of the Year in my very first year in real estate, sold 36 transactions in my first year, great fun, and over 20 years of experience as a course creator, a coach, and a consultant. So a lot of fun times being in real estate. And I love talking to clients, and I especially love this particular topic. Hey, Esther, so it's good to see you too. I'm from California, fantastic. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Robin, say hi, Robin. Are you there? Robin is our director of operations. So hi, Robin. So she's going to be, I'm keeping an eye on our chat. It's a little hard for me to do the chat, but Robin, if there's a question that I need to answer right away, feel free, guys, to put your questions in the chat. I'm going to get to as many of them as possible. I've got a couple different things I want to go through with you today, and I think we're going to have some fun. So I am actually going to ask you guys to do me a favor. Grab some paper, grab a pen, because we're going to do a really quick exercise that I think you're going to find is really fun in just a little while. And of course, you want to take lots of notes. Now, the particular presentation I'm doing today is actually a lesson that's taken out of our 12 Weeks to Breakthrough program. I just felt it was so important to share that with all of our group members and not just our participants in our 12 Weeks to Breakthrough program. So we are breaking it out and sharing it all with you guys. So I've got part of that particular presentation to go through. And then I also have a kind of an interesting way that I think you might want to reframe how you are approaching your business coming into this shifting market. By the way, if you are feeling the shift, do me a favor in the chat, say yes. Are you feeling the shift? Boy, I tell you what. So I'm in Phoenix, in the Phoenix area. And yes, yeah, there you go, Travis. Yeah, absolutely, Esther. You guys are feeling the shift. We're definitely feeling it here. I don't know if you guys know this, but kind of in real estate, everything starts on the coasts and works its way inwards. So if you're in the middle of the country, if you haven't gotten to the shift yet, it's definitely coming your way. All right, so let's go ahead and start in, shall we? Are you excited? I'm excited, guys. I'm excited to share this with you. Okay, so let's get right into understanding kind of old school versus new school. And I want to, let's just lay some understanding of what old school versus new school is and some of the terminology that's there. So when we start thinking about outbound versus inbound marketing strategies, so all of you guys are doing probably some outbound and some inbound. So let's talk about outbound. Outbound means you're acquiring or you're prospecting. So how does that work? First thing is that it's time intensive, means it takes a lot of your time to do. And we're going to go through what those things are in just a minute. It is also proactive. So you're going out and getting those clients, and then you'll see immediate results on it. So for example, let's say that you go door knocking, and you actually have a conversation with someone and they say, yes, I absolutely want to sell my house. We'll get there, and you've really done some outbound acquiring of the client. Now, if we go to inbound, it's all about attraction. These would be things like your social media posts. It might be like your postcards that you're sending out in the mail. Here's the thing. It's money intensive. It is passive, which means it's one way. You're going out one way to find that client, bringing it back to you, and you're hoping for a two-way conversation after you've done it. And then finally, it's looking at long-term results. So if we think about inbound versus outbound marketing strategies requires that you have some knowledge of who your target audience or potential clients are and what they need. These strategies include email marketing, direct mails, telemarketing, event marketing. All of these are the type of marketing that you know who that person is and you are directly going to them. Now, if we think about inbound to attract, we're talking about inbound marketing includes strategies that attract people to the business through the delivery of related incentives and content. So these strategies include social media marketing, like I said before, content marketing, search engine optimization, as well as advertising. So if we think in terms of outbound, really you are looking, you know that client and you're looking for this two-way conversation. You may even already have a two-way conversation going on with this person. When we're talking inbound, you're simply casting out your line into the river and you're waiting for someone to nibble on that particular hook for you. Okay. So as we're going through this, there are three different phases that we want to look at for client acquisition. And this is incredibly important. Most agents actually don't understand this particular concept. So there's three different phases. The first one is awareness. Now, you've created awareness. Someone now out there in the ether knows you exist and you actually have something to offer. Okay. So the potential client has a problem and that needs to be resolved, and they're looking for a solution and they see you. Now, here's the thing that I hear agents say every single day. You tell me if this is you or not. I don't want to be a pushy salesperson. If someone doesn't know that you're in real estate, you're missing the very first phase of this client acquisition experience. The next one is going to be evaluation. Okay, so they've got a problem that needs to be solved. Now they've heard about you and they're becoming a potential client. Now what they are doing is they are considering you as an option. You are not there yet. You're someone they're considering as an option. So we keep going forward. All right. And then the last one is conversion. The potential client is ready to choose you for their needs, yet they might still have some questions. Right. So this is the flow and the phases that you're going to be going through when we're talking about client acquisition. All right. So as we're going through this, what I want to do is let's start taking a look at some old school versus new school, and let's put it in the perspective of these three phases as well. Okay, so let's start off with prospecting versus marketing old school. The first one is face-to-face. So this is the stuff that really is all about outbound. Okay, so here's what we have. You guys will know these types of lead generation. By the way, a lot of these do work. I'm saying old school. That doesn't necessarily mean that they don't work anymore, but they may have to work in a very different way now. Okay, so for example, for sale by owners, we know that for sale by owners, people are still trying to sell their homes themselves, and they also have a lot of challenges with it because they don't understand how to do that. Next one, expireds. People whose home they tried to sell did not sell, and they are still out there and maybe still need to sell. Just sold. So in that neighborhood, something just sold in that neighborhood, just listed. Perhaps you just listed a home and you're doing marketing around that. Your past clients. Allied resources. Allied resources are people who you know will help send clients your way. It could be past clients. It could be friends and family. It could be vendors that you work with. These are people who have referred you in the past. We have geographic farming. So we absolutely know that there are farms out there that you can set. Again, old school still works. Apartments. So people are living in apartments. We know them. Corporations. These might be people who have relocation that needs to take place, right? Builders. Always a good old school way to find clients if you're working with builders. And of course, banks are another one. Let's keep going into third-party companies. So these could be like if you're a Redfin agent, or if you're a Zillow agent, or if you are getting your leads from some other source there. Investors, here's a big one right now, guys. Investors. If you don't have a strategy yet for real estate investing, stick with us. We did a great Wednesday webinar last week all about investing. We're going to keep talking about this because I know it's a hot topic for a lot of you guys. As a side note, okay, back to it. So door knocking, you better believe it. People do still answer their doors to people, believe it or not, okay? Client parties. Oldie but goodie, client parties, that still works. Networking events, these are all great opportunities. For example, let's say that you are part of your Chamber of Commerce. Let's say that there is a big charity event that's going on. Perhaps you could do some networking there. Social functions, community events. So let's say that there is a big fundraiser going on in a neighborhood, for example, or maybe there is a big holiday party that is happening with an organization or inside of your neighborhood. That might be a really great place for you to meet people. Seminars, always a good way. Booths at events. Yep, old school still does work. Teaching and speaking opportunities. I wonder how many of you guys take that opportunity. Maybe you're a really fantastic trainer. Maybe you're a fantastic speaker. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to go and do some speaking and talk about what you do. For example, let's say that you have some relationships with some companies. You could say, hey, I'd like to do a first-time homebuyer workshop, a move-up workshop, a move-down workshop, and like to have that at your company. Maybe that's an opportunity for you. Or perhaps there is a Lions or a Rotary or Kiwanis, and they're always looking for speakers. Maybe that's an opportunity for you to go in, talk about the market, talk about real estate investing, all sorts of different things there. Kiosks in high traffic areas. Those are also ways that are face-to-face and phone. Now, let's go ahead and look at marketing for that. Now, marketing, again, advertising, we're still going through some of these old school ways of marketing. Advertising. All right. Personal vehicles. I've seen a lot of agents, they have their vehicle and it is totally painted out and it's got all their logos on it and everything like that. Sure, that could work. Magazines, see a lot of agents placing ads in magazines, or they might even have like the lifestyle magazine on that. One thing I'm always going to encourage you to do when you're doing that, make sure you understand your return on investment before you make that investment. I remember my first year in real estate, I actually invested in one of those magazines that got mailed out all the time. I never got one single solitary closing off of any of those. I think I did it for 3 years and I might have gotten 2 leads off of it. So it was much more vanity for me than it was anything that was returning. Now, you guys might do great on it. Maybe yours is good, but mine just simply didn't work for me. And I haven't seen a lot of agents who those work great for, but if they work great for you, awesome sauce, that'll work. Bus stop benches, believe it or not, people still do that. Signs, directional signs. Okay, so if we're talking Open houses, we're talking signs in our neighborhoods. Do make sure that that neighborhood allows you to place signs in that neighborhood. There's a lot of neighborhoods now who they're saying, hey, heck no, and the neighborhood comes and starts picking up your signs. So be aware of that. Okay. Name badges and logos, please, please, if you're out and about, wear that name badge. Don't be a secret agent. Believe it or not, having a name badge on does cause people to have a conversation with you. Billboards, sure, might be a big expense, but that might be if you're in a particular area and that really ends up getting your name out there at a high level, sure, that might work for you. Grocery carts. Okay, I'm gonna share my pet peeve with grocery carts. I hope this is okay. All right, I just got my grocery cart. Okay, ladies, all the ladies out there, here's the thing. When you have your grocery cart, where do you put your purse? You put it right there where the kid sits. That's usually where they place the advertising. So you get your cart, open it up, place your purse. Now you can't see the advertising. Well, okay, so they don't put the advertising there. Then they'll put it on the front of the cart. You don't see the front of the cart. You're driving the cart. All right. So make sure that if you're going to do advertising on grocery carts, that the representative can give you definitive return on investment for what's going to happen. By the way, every single type of marketing I'm talking about, know what your ROI, know what your return investment is. If you're going to spend money with somebody and put your hard-earned money out to something, make absolutely sure that that salesperson can tell you what your return on investment, expected return on investment could be. Okay. Next thing, moving van. Sure. You might even have a moving van that you help your clients use. Why not? Okay. Brochure boxes. A lot of times we still see those in all sorts of places. For example, you might have your brochure box at your dentist's office or at your hairstylist or at your gym. You might have a brochure box in all those places. Car signs. So sometimes we have cars. I don't know if you guys have seen them. The magnetic car signs, we see those all the time. So that is out there. Let's keep going on. How about online? So there might be online newspapers. Pretty much every newspaper that's out there is online, and they do have online advertising for those things. How about Google ads? You can certainly be placing a Google ad. Your pay-per-click advertising is there. Search engine optimization. Again, these are all things that are still old school. Many of them work. Many of them you want to check in on. Social media ads, groups, pages. These are all things that have worked in the past. YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat. Yes, they're old school, but they are actually still kind of new school. And we'll go through that in just a minute. Let's go to promotional items. How many of you guys send out the calendars? Yeah, I know so many of you guys actually do send out those calendars. So especially if they're the sports calendars, you're probably sending out magnets. So there's refrigerator magnets. Yes, sometimes they do work. Here's my question for you, by the way. As we're going through all this, I want you to think about different businesses, not real estate, because all of us are kind of a little prejudiced when it comes to real estate. But I want you to think about all the things that you've received, like swag, like cards, like big brochures, whatever it is that has come in your way, shape, or form. Think about all of these things and think how you have responded. For example, let's say that you were at your gym, and did you see a brochure box that was there? Okay. Did you see an ad that is coming through? Did you see social media and did something stop your scroll? Right? Did somebody send you a calendar or a magnet or maybe like hats, promotional items, cups, mugs, cozies? As you're thinking about these things, think what you've gotten in the past from other type of businesses, because it really does relate. Pens, folders, portfolios. I know you guys have a lot of those type of things. If it's good return on your investment, yeah, absolutely go to it. Now, here's another one. This one is interesting, and this is all about broadcast. Now, I do know that some people, but I tell you what, in Arizona, we see TV commercials from agents all the time here. I don't know if in your area, in your part of the country, if you see those all the time, but we see a lot of TV commercials out there. Radio, again, both of those, you want to make sure you understand your return on investment for those. Email campaigns, absolutely. Email campaigns still do work very, very well, even though they're old school. How about this one? Movie theater ads. Sure, why not? And by the way, some of the streaming services are starting to offer you to be able to do commercials. For example, Hulu right now will allow you to get on and do commercials with them. Here's another one that's important: sponsorship. Okay, open house events, right? You can do big open house events. It's so funny. One of my clients, he's fantastic. He's also a musician, and he always brings his band in, or he does himself when he's doing a big open house event. He just makes it a big event for the neighborhood. Kind of fun. Hi, Joe. Hope you're here. Good to see you. Okay. Charity events, like we've said before, community events, youth sport teams. For example, you could go ahead and you could sponsor a youth sport team. Maybe your logo is on the back of their shirts. High school productions. What about their school productions or their choir or anything that would have some type of a program? Maybe you could advertise in that. Let's go to direct mail. You guys do this. Geo farming or demographic farming. The difference is geographic farming is in a particular area. Demographic farming is to a particular set of people. For example, golfers. They might be a particular demographic that you are going to be targeting with your mailing. Investors might be somebody that you're targeting with your mailing. So these types of folks, okay? Postcard campaigns, maybe you're mailing it out to your entire database, maybe to particular neighborhoods. All of those could be there for you. Special event cards. So maybe you've got something coming up and you want to send out an event for, a card for. Sending out direct mail to expireds and FSBOs, absolutely. Just sold, just listed cards, market updates, homeowner equities. All of these things here, guys, all of these things are old school techniques that we have seen for a long, long time. You've probably noticed that some of them do work, but other of these are starting to not work so well. Some of them work, some of them not work so well. So do me a favor, in the chat, can you let me know what things are not working for you? Can you guys do me a favor? Just put that in saying, yeah, this is kind of not working as well. Or it might be something you're going, oh my God, this is old school, but it works so, so well. What do you think that might be in your world? What is working not so good? You know, one thing that I have heard quite a lot right now is this one. When you're making your calls, are people picking up the phone? Are people actually answering the phone? I don't know if you guys know, but like, I'm in real estate. I don't answer my phone if I don't know who you are. How bad is that? Okay. How many of you guys have that challenge? Okay, yeah. So social media ads targeted towards buyers. Travis, is that one that's working well for you? Is that one that is not working well for you? Is that a good one for you, Travis? Not working well. Okay, so that's a challenge for you. Sure, I got that. I got that. Absolutely. So, by the way, I got to share this with you. Okay, Thompson, many of these listed seem to not work, and if they used to, are slipping dramatically. You know it, Thomas. Yeah, I know. I've heard that before. Listing ads still work. Sounds good in your area. Fantastic, Thomas. Okay. Randy's saying farming letters and non-absentee owners are not working as well. You're right. You're right. So we're going to get into something. And what I want to do, actually, let me tell you the story I was just about to start telling you. Okay. So I was at an event at one of the oldest and most respected real estate coaches in the whole industry. And I'm not going to say who he is. Wonderful, wonderful man. Been in the business for like 60 years. And his big thing is all about FSBOs, expireds, and making your calls, pounding that phone for 2 hours every single day. Okay. Pounding the phone, FSBOs, expireds, everybody. Right. And so he's teaching everybody how to do all this, and people are all getting excited about it. And so I raised my hand and I said, hey, so here's a question for you. I said, in this day and age, people don't necessarily pick up their phone anymore. Like 90% of them don't. So what do you do in that situation? And he just froze for a second. And he says, well, you shoot him a text. I said, oh, well, what does it say in the text? It says, hey, I've got something really important to talk to you about. Call me right away. Okay. So, and then I said, okay, so they call you right away. What do you say? And he said, I just want to find out if there's anybody you know who's thinking about buying or selling real estate. So I don't know about you guys, but if I got that text from somebody I knew and they said, call me right away. And then I called and they said, tell me who you know who's thinking about buying or selling real estate. I don't know if I'd ever answer a text back from them. Okay. Because here's what it's not. It's not truly relational. And we're going to get to this in just a moment about just how much relationship now means in our world. And so I want to start out with something. So I asked you guys all to have a pen and a piece of paper ready. So do me a favor. What I want you to do is go ahead and grab that piece of paper and that pen. Have that in front of you. Okay. Let me know if you've got it in front of you. Say yes, have it. Okay. Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Okay, great. So you've got it in front of you. So I am gonna have a little fun with you guys here. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take that piece of paper and as quickly as you can and without thinking about it, as quickly as you can and without thinking about it, I want you to put your response down to what I'm going to ask, okay? So as quickly as you can think about it, don't think, just write. Everybody ready? Okay, here we go. What I want you to do as quickly as you can without thinking about it, write down what your top answer is for name an American car company, a soft drink company, and a fast food company. Go. An American car company, a soft drink company, and a fast food company. As fast as you can, write those down. American car company, soft drink company, and a fast food company. All right. As soon as you have those down, put it in the chat. What are your three? American car company, soft drink company, fast food company. Let's put those in the chat. Awesome. All right. Ford, Microsoft, Sonic. Okay. Ford, Coke, McDonald's. Ford, Coke, McDonald's. Dodge, Pepsi, McDonald's. Ford, Coke, McDonald's. See how many Ford, Coke, McDonald's? All right. Why do you think that you guys had Ford, Coke, McDonald's? It is all about mind share. So let's take a look at this, okay? For American Car Company, here's what most of you put, Ford. The second one is normally Chevy. Didn't see a lot of Chevys in this one, so that was really, really interesting. Okay, you're absolutely right, Thomas. Yeah, being branded, that's for sure. It's mind share. Soft drink company, Coke, or is it Pepsi? A lot of you guys had both of those. And then a fast food company, guess what? McDonald's and Burger King, Wendy's, or Subway is usually the third. Interesting. Go back and read through these in the chat. You're going to see just how many people really had mind share happening, right? So when we are thinking in terms of real estate right now, everything is about people really like you taking up real estate in someone's head when they are real estate. There you go. You're taking up space in someone's head when they're thinking about real estate. They are really thinking about you. If anybody they come across is thinking about buying or selling real estate, if they're thinking about buying or selling real estate, if they see an article that they read in the newspaper, they think, oh man, I should call Thomas about this. I wonder what he would have to say, right? So it really is about mind share. So as we're going through this next new school stuff, what I want you to think in terms of is how will this create mind share for the people in your world? Mind share and relationship. Because we're in social media, okay? And because really the pandemic had a lot to do with this because we were all shut off from so many people, we crave human interaction as well. So people don't want something canned. They don't want to see an ad that just looks like, for example, and please, please, please take this with the love that it's meant to. But how many of you guys on social media post an ad for an open house or post an ad for, or a post for a listing you have, and it looks like a flyer? Not going to stop the scroll, and it's not relational. So when we are talking about the things I'm going to show you in New School, it really is all about how do we create relationship, and how do we really expand on relationship, and how can I really find mind share with all the people that I really care about. Okay, so let's go into, I'm going to share my screen again.
Hey, Cole, before you go on, Travis
Yeah.
had a great takeaway.
Okay, great.
If we're not one or two on people's lists, we don't exist in their mind.
Wow, Travis, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And which we kind of even saw in when we were looking at the American car company, the soda company and the fast food chain. You're right. Top two. It's always top two. So are you their number one person, or are you their backup? That's it. If you're not there, you don't exist. Great, great point. Thanks so much for sharing that, Travis. Good stuff. So let's start getting into lead generation in the digital age. These are going to be things that are going to be really important, and making sure that you have these things in place. By the way, you may not do every single one of the things that we're going to talk about here. You're going to find the things that really work for you and your niche. And by the way, if you ever just want to sit down and talk about your business and how these things might work for you, I'll be happy to sit down and have a strategy session with you all about these. Do it every day. Be happy to do it with you. Okay, so let's start talking about the testimonials. This is important. Your reputation is paramount. You will be Googled when someone is considering using your service. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Everybody Googles people. They're going to Google you. They're going to Yelp you. They're going to look you up on Zillow. They're going to look for you before they ever even consider working with you. By the way, your family members are going to do that with you. Your best friends are going to do that with you. Don't think for a second that even these people, don't take for granted that the people who are closest to you aren't going to actually be scoping you as well. Trust is really, really important. Your reputation is important. So how many of you guys have gone and you've actually Googled yourself? Say, I have in the comments. Have you actually Googled yourself? And what does it say? Like, do you have just one of those really, really, really common names? How are you going to stand out? What happens? Okay. Oh, my screen's not shared. Your screen is not shared correctly. Oh, well, how about I try this then? Sometimes I just don't know what I'm doing. Is that the right one now? Did I get it? Sorry about that. See, technical difficulties. I'm having
Much better. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for sharing that. I was like, oops, whoopsie. Yeah, absolutely. So if you have Googled yourself, so important. Make sure you know what it's saying about you. Like some of you guys have switched companies before, and I'll Google you and it still shows that you're with the last company. Those are opportunities for you to really up your game. All right. So people are going to look at your website. They're going to look at Zillow. They're going to look at a standalone page. You may have a standalone page for your testimonials. By the way, I use the company called Reach 150, REACH 150.com. And that's the company I use for my particular standalone page. Love it. Been with them for years. Or Testimonial Platform. That's what that one actually is, a testimonial platform. The next thing is landing pages. Okay. Let me talk to you about the importance of landing pages. When you have a static website, the static website usually has some kind of search on there. It probably has some kind of, Reach 150, Randy, REACH 150.com. You go there, you can find out all about what they do. And that's there. Okay. Thanks, Travis, for putting that in there too. I appreciate that. Okay. Landing pages. So if you have a static web page, you've got about you, that's always going to be in there. You might have a search. You might have a couple things, but it's very static. People don't necessarily go to web pages anymore, but they are very interested in things that matter to them. For example, let's say, and I used golfers a minute ago, so I'm going to use that again. What if you, in your particular area, had a static web page, or not a static web page, but a landing page that was specifically geared towards golfers? Golf communities, you can create absolute landing URLs just for like golf communities. You can put information for golfers and what they want to consider when they're looking at a golf community. There's a lot of different things that you could do for a landing page for them. How about people who are doing move up buying? Could you have a standalone landing page just for them that is specifically tailored for their needs? And by the way, maybe you have it in specific different neighborhoods in your area. Absolutely. We could talk about, how about investors? You could have a standalone landing page that's all about them. So very specific to those people. And then those would be the landing pages that when you're doing your social media, or you're doing your mailings, or you're doing your texting, all of those things could direct people to that particular landing page. So it's hyper specific to that person that you are going after. Does that make sense for everybody? So make sure you understand your niche. You're not going to go to everybody. And we're going to talk about kind of what those niches are in just a minute. But just start thinking in terms of who could you actually target specifically so you can get even more relationship with them, not just these big, broad strokes. Okay. Another thing is lead and SOI categorization. All right. So we're talking about craft and target your messaging to your new leads and existing sphere of influence according to specific categories. That's kind of what I talked about. You would have a different message for first-time home buyers than you have for investors. Don't treat them the same. So not only would you have landing pages, but let's say that you have got a newsletter. Maybe you have 3 different versions of newsletter, depending on who you're targeting. You're probably not going to have the one generic newsletter that goes out to everybody, because I'll be frankly, it's all about me. When I get a newsletter, if I get an email, if it's not relating to me, boop, bye-bye. Now, if I keep boop, boop, bye-byeing you because you're sending me all these generic things, you're not getting mind share. But let's say that so I'm a coach and instructional designer, okay? And let's say, it's a different industry, but just go with me for a second. Let's say that you emailed me something about course creation. It was very, very specific to me. I'm going to go, ooh, I want to look at that. So let's say that you've got a client and they are just starting to get into investing and they're excited about it. And maybe the stuff that you're sending that person is about investing. It might be generalized about investing, but still might be investing. So be very, very thoughtful about when you have email campaigns, when you have text campaigns, what those look like, okay? Especially for that sphere of influence. All right, let's go into local search engine optimization. This is important, guys. According to the National Association of Realtors, 95% of buyers will use the internet at least once in the buying process. Everybody does it. It is very rare that people are not online. So the question is, does your website rank well on Google? Learn about Google My Business. There are lots of classes, YouTube videos. We'll be happy to talk to you about them. Things that you can do to learn about Google My Business. You can build links that go to specific things for search engine optimization. You can get listed in online directories. You can engage in social media with social media users. You can post about local events. There's a lot of things that the more and more you're kind of online and doing those things, your name is going to be popping up to the top. Boy, especially if you've got a real common name, you've got to be out there a lot in order to get your name up there in search engine optimization. I'm kind of one of those lucky people. Not too many Kole Finleys out there, so makes me happy. All right, social media. Major, major importance. Top social media platforms used by real estate agents are Facebook. Everybody's on Facebook, right? Here's the thing. Do you have a Facebook group? Do you have a Facebook page? Now, you guys are in our Facebook group. Okay, kind of cool. You guys are in our Facebook group. We actually do it with a group rather than a page because we want to be hyper specific to the people who are in our organization. You might be able to do the same exact thing, right? But Facebook, Twitter, 48% of agents are using Twitter. LinkedIn, how many of you guys are using LinkedIn? 30%, right? That is a powerful platform for you. YouTube, that's starting to get up there. And Instagram and TikTok are right up there too, guys. So don't, all of those are there. You're going to find your particular platform, one or two of those, but make sure you're on it. Understanding how to market on Facebook is key. That's your number one. Know your objective. Is it lead generation or brand awareness? Those are two very different things. Again, if there's stuff that you want to know more about that, we do teach that in our program, or I'll be happy to sit down and have some conversations with you about that. Know who you are targeting, behaviors, demographics, interests. Again, all of those things matter. Video marketing, the holy grail right now. The holy grail. Everything is about video right now, and video under a minute. Okay. 73% of homeowners prefer to list with a real estate agent who creates video content to show the buyer. Listing with people that create video content to show a buyer. All right. Well, some of the best videos of the properties. By the way, that might be a like a Matterport. But what if it's a really great you walking through the property and talking about that property? That might stop my scroll. If I'm going through Facebook, I'm going through my Instagram and I see a video of you walking through the property, you better believe it. Client interviews. Oh, I love this one. So an interview with the client is going to be different than a video testimonial. So an interview with a client might be, what's this process been like for you? So the interview might say, you know what? We started this, then we did this, then we did this, then our agent showed us this, and this is how this became a really cool process for us. A client testimonial is, oh my gosh, I absolutely loved Randy. He was so amazing. He really helped take us through the process step by step, and we were able to find the house of our dreams or sell our house and move on. Whatever that is, two different things, okay? Q&A live streams. How about that? How about you did a Facebook live stream where you asked all of the people who had any questions to come on the live stream, and you were going to sit there and rapid fire answer their questions. Might be a fun thing for you. And by the way, those type of things start really increasing your search engine optimization. Okay, profiles of real estate agents. Let's try this one on for size. Okay, I'm gonna ask this. Randy, where are you from? Since I just used your name, can I ask you where you're from? Let me know in the comments. See if we can play along. Las Vegas, fantastic. Okay, I'm in Phoenix, you're in Las Vegas. What if, Randy, you and I did a live stream on Facebook where we decided we were going to talk about our different markets, and I was going to profile you, and then you were going to profile me. Could we set up a referral between each other, and we're out there doing it together? Could I partner with other people? What do you think? Could that be an interesting way of starting to really build my business even outside of my area? Just a thought for you guys. Okay. Of course, videos of community events. Are you at the community event, and are you posting those things? Video is important. By the way, you could have videos for golf communities on a landing page, right? So Randy says, yes, you just need to know the technology to do so. You know what my favorite one is, Randy? The one we're on right now, Zoom. We can actually do a Zoom into a Facebook Live. We could do a Zoom just like we're doing here. I could record it and I can post it on my Facebook. You could post it on your Facebook. So it just depends. There's a lot of different ways you do that, but that is a really fantastic point that you just brought up. Thank you so much for that. And of course, let's go into open houses. Guys, you're going to notice that this is in new school. This one still works. Now, teaser alert. Next week, I am going to be doing a class. I'm actually going to stop my share for a minute. I'm going to do a class that's near and dear to my heart. It's all about open house mastery. So our live stream next week is going to be an extended one. It is 2 hours, and it's all about open houses. This has always been my wheelhouse. And here's the thing. Every agent that I am talking with right now, when they tell me that they do not, open houses don't work for them, I ask a few questions and we can instantaneously figure out why it doesn't work for them. So I'm going to share with you the formula that it takes to get out there and really do a powerful open house that really drives traffic. So teaser, 11 o'clock next Wednesday. That's what we're going to talk about. Would that be a good one for you guys? Would you like to see that? Okay. Oh, I love it. Randy, by the way, I am going to say you just got all sorts of good stuff on here, Randy. Thanks for playing full out today. I like it. I use Big View as it has built teleprompter for video. Love it. When you are using that teleprompter and you can really get that message very clear, you better believe it. That's going to be some good stuff for sure. Okay. Am I sharing the right screen this time, Robin? Okay, I think I've got it right.
Yes, you are.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. All right, let's keep going on. Now, let's talk about local presence. Now, I talked about this being very, very relational. Remember, this is all about relationship. So let's talk about local presence. Become involved in the community to attract and nurture leads. So consider volunteering at local charity events. So important. Sponsoring youth sporting events, sponsoring fundraisers, joining the local service clubs, that's Kiwanis, Rotary, Lions, whatever. Host first-time homebuyer, downsize seller, investor workshops. Get in front of people and get in front of people when it's meaningful to them. Very important. When it's meaningful to them, you are sharing community. You are sharing a bond as you're going through that. Relationship. Then let's go into online content. Content is key. If you haven't heard that phrase yet, guess what? It is time to really remember this phrase. Content is key. So you have the right kind of content can solidify your reputation rather, and build trust. So here are some of the different types of content we could be talking about. Blogs. You better believe it. A blog works. And you could have a standalone blog. You could have a blog on your website. You could have people drive them to your blog, which then drives them to ask questions of you. Absolutely. Listicles are big. Listicles are big. Well, what's a listicle? It might be the 5 ways to get your home sold quickly, or my top 10 tips for decluttering your home, or my top 10 ugliest homes and why they won't sell. I mean, it could be anything, but a listicle is an article with a list in it. So that's why it's called a listicle. Okay. By the way, I love that, Randy. With holidays coming up, a lot of volunteer opportunities. Thank you so much for that. And wondering if you will be sending out the slides from this webinar. Oh, such a great question, John. Yes, I will. I'm going to post that in our guides inside the Facebook group. I'll have all these slides ready for you, and you can just take those. Is that helpful? Would everybody like the slides from this? You got it. Okay, I'll absolutely do that for you guys then. Okay, so let's keep going on. Ebooks. Some of you have written ebooks. Those things are really powerful for you. Okay. Infographics. By the way, a couple different places you can get infographics. My favorite place is Keeping Current Matters. That membership is probably worth your time because you get some very good graphics on it. By the way, if you are a realtor, if you simply get on realtormagazine.com, you can find a whole section there on marketing, and it has all sorts of graphics in there for free. By the way, If you're not a realtor, you can still use the stuff. So simply go to realtormagazine.com. Great place for you to find content as well. How-to guides. I'm a big believer in how-to guides. Those are so powerful for people. You can be posting them inside your Facebook groups. You can post them on your Facebook page. You can be sending out those guides to a particular demographic and create those guides for particular demographics. Newsletters. These are old school and new school. These work each time. And then how about community magazines? There are a lot of communities out there that have community magazines. So let's get into customer service offerings. Okay, this one is so important. It's like if there's one that you do right now, this is going to be it. So people are much more likely to reach out to you and provide you their contact information when you offer a perk. The number one is an equity evaluation. Well, Kole, what the heck is an equity evaluation? All right, let me describe this to you. So I'll bet you that some of you, if you had a past career in working that W-2 job, you probably had a 401k. If you've had a 401k in the past, do me a favor and type 401k into the chat for me. 401k. When you had a 401k, you absolutely got a statement of earnings on that 401k. You probably had that 401k statement of earnings maybe once a month. It might be once a quarter. It might be once every 2 weeks, but you got some type of statement of earnings either emailed or mailed to you. Okay. Now, everybody, most of the people that you know, the largest investment that they have in their portfolio is their home. But when is the last time they got a statement of earnings on their home? When was the last time they got a statement of earnings on their home? I'm telling you what, it's probably never. To us, we know a statement of earnings, or we know an equity evaluation by a different name, CMA. Comparative market analysis. So what if you were able, let's say you pick your top 20 people in your database or your top 50 people in your database. And twice a year, you told them that you were going to provide them with an equity evaluation on their home on the anniversary date they purchased their home and 6 months later. Do you think that they might really think of you as their real estate consultant? You're providing them with information, and we all know that Zillow is not going to cut it when it comes to their equity evaluation and how much equity they may have in their home. Zillow on its own website states that it could be 20% off in one direction or the other in any given day. They need to rely on you. Now, here's one thing we're discovering is when people are sending out these equity evaluations, and by the way, you're not sending it, you're actually dropping it off in person. 1 out of 10 that they send out, they get a lead for a buyer or a seller. 1 out of 10. This is a powerful one. If you do nothing else, this is what I want you to do. Okay. Let's keep going on. Design advice that you could give to people. Absolutely. List of trusted home service companies. Maybe you are the Angie's list of everybody in your circle, in your sphere of influence. How about market statistics? You better believe those are going to be important for you. Neighborhood information, so important. Coupons for giveaways. Maybe you're partnering with other businesses in your local area and you're giving those giveaways. Absolutely. All of those work. Let's get into virtual tours rather right now. So although HD photography is still excellent for search engine optimization, video and virtual tours give the buyer a more immersive experience. Okay. Here's some ideas. Candid home walkthroughs. By the way, these are really fantastic before you have an open house. Do a candid walkthrough the day before of that house, and you can get that posted up on any of your social media platforms. Live home tours on social media. How about you do a live home tour as a live stream while you are at the open house? Try that one on. Or maybe you just got a new listing and you're driving everybody to this live tour. Maybe you've got a multi-million-dollar listing. Ooh, those are fun. People will show up for your live tour on those. 3D virtual tours. We talked about Matterport and other kind of companies like that. Neighborhood tours. Not only is the house important, the neighborhood is important. Have you ever thought about when you had a listing, drive through the neighborhood because it's so beautiful? Let the neighborhood sell for you and let that sell on video for you. That could work. How about special feature tours? This could be a nice short, under a minute special feature of the house. So you might do edits of this gorgeous kitchen, of this amazing waterfall tub, of this really, really cool garden that they have in the backyard. It could be anything, right? So important on that. All right. Print advertising, yes, it still works. Oldie but goodie. Yep. Postcards, just sold as listeds. Affinity magazines, we talked about those. Neighborhood flyers, yes, those do still work. FSBOs and expireds, FSBO clients. Understand a FSBO owner's motivations are key to converting open houses. By the way, inside of our Facebook group, a lot of you have asked for it and it's there. It's the ultimate guide to articulating your value to your sellers. That's one that I really designed for FSBOs. So if you get that, you can look for the listing, or you can certainly feel free just to private message me. We can get that out to you. But being able to articulate your value to a FSBO is so important, because there's so many things that they don't realize that you do that they would need to do to really get their home sold properly. Let's go into keyword targeting. So important. Using keywords is vital to your search engine rating, getting to know right people to find your listing. Okay, so that's really important. By the way, Google AdWords is a really great place to look for that. There's several different books out there that talk about keyword targeting. Look those up. You can find those on Amazon. Just search for keyword targeting books. You will find that. And like I just said, keyword targeting books, sorry, there you go. And then mobile optimization, making sure that all of your websites, all of the offerings that you have, not only show up well on a computer screen, but you know how when you're on the computer and then you can go down to a tablet, you can go down to a phone, they should be able to see every single thing that you have in here in that particular format. So that's what that means. All right, what kind of ahas? I'm going to take about 5 more minutes of your time if you guys are cool with that, but what kind of ahas do we have so far? Let's share them in the chat. That would be awesome. Awesome. By the way, while you guys are putting in that chat, Randy says, I have an automated newsletter that covers many subjects to my sphere of influence, and I can also send Facebook and LinkedIn. Got it. Got it. Does Randy, real quick question for you. Does that, is it specified to a particular demographic, or is that a generalized, automated newsletter that goes out to everybody? I'm curious. Thomasia likes the listicle idea. It's kind of cool, isn't it? I love listicles. Okay. So it's automated. So my question is, so is automated, like, do you have one that's automated out to this group, one's that automated out to this group, or is it just kind of one big one that goes out to everybody? Alina, thank you. Mind share and staying in people's mind. That's your big takeaway. Love that. Love that. Travis's landing pages by area or enthusiast. Absolutely, that works, Travis. Sounds fantastic. Okay, I am actually going to same to all and social media. Randy, awesome. That's working great for you. Fantastic. I just might just plant the seed in there that what would the question would be, what would happen if you actually did it to specific demographics? Just an idea. You could take it or leave it. May work for you or may not. Okay, so I am actually going to go into one other thing because we're in a shifting market. So little change over to shifting. Okay, so I am going to put this up here. Can everybody see my actually I'm going to just change my just a little bit. Okay, can you guys see my white page here? All right, so we're going into the shifting market right now, okay? Here's what we have been taught, and you might have seen this video on the group. By the way, I do have it posted there, but for those of you who haven't seen it. So here's what we know. We have up markets, right? And we have down markets. We have up markets, and we have down markets, and on and on. And so we usually think this is our up market, okay? Boy, that was seller's market. It was awesome. That's what we just are getting out of, and this is the down market, right? Okay. And so we think all is wonderful when we're in that up market, but man, when it's a down market, life is horrible and it's crashing and it's all those kind of things. All right. This is so common. By the way, anybody here feeling their business drying up just a bit because things have changed? All right. I'm going to give you a different way to look at this. Here's what I want you to think about. What if instead of saying it's up and down, what if it were side to side? What if you were shifting and it went from seller to buyer to seller to buyer? Okay, nothing's good or bad. It is simply in this particular shift. Now, here's the next thing to look at. There is going to be this lane of people who, no matter what, regardless of whether they are buying or selling, at some point they need to do this. So who do you think might be someone who, regardless of whether the market is up or market down, need to buy or sell? Who do you think those would be? Can you put those in the chat for me? Okay. And this is always need to move. Who do you think that might be? Okay, so it might be relocation for a job, right? Absolutely. It might be what else? It might be divorce, right? Okay, military, love that one. What else? Okay, seniors downsizing, sure. Good job, guys, you're doing great. Okay, death, you better believe it. Okay, how about changing schools? People sometimes also still need to move up. So you see how we have all sorts of different people that no matter what the market is, you have got a lot of different people that still need to buy or sell. So my question to you becomes, is your social media strategy, is your mailing strategy, is all of the strategies that we've just talked about targeting these people when we're in a shifting market? By the way, you're not going to go to every single one of these. Find one or two or three at the most that you might target always. Doesn't make any difference if we're in a shifting market, if we're in a buyer's market, if we're in a seller's market, but this is going to be your bread and butter people always right here. By the way, I'll grab that one. New baby. Thanks for saying that. Great. Baby. You see how this works, guys? If we simply think in terms of, instead of thinking up, down, life is good, life is bad, but simply shifting from one side or the other, and we have a strategy for the people who are in the middle, right? So that's really what we are talking about. Is this helpful? Is this helpful for all you guys? No, we've gone through a lot today. A lot. Alina, thank you so much. I'm glad it's very helpful for you. You better believe it. Thank you so much, guys. So I will be putting these slides up on it'll be in a guide on the Facebook group. So we'll put those up. I'll get those probably by tomorrow morning, if you guys are okay with that. I'll shoot out a text if we can get it out earlier. That would be it. Okay. I do want to share with you guys something. So one of the things that I do, obviously during this particular meeting, there's a lot of stuff that we laid out. And one of the things that I do with agents every single day is I do a free consultation. So there's a lot of things that we talked about. And sometimes you're going, well, how do I implement that? What do I do? I am so happy to sit down with you and we can take a look at your business and what things might work for you. So feel free, go ahead and scan this QR code, or you can go to my Calendly link here and we can get you scheduled for that. No cost, no obligation. It's just really a great way for us to have a conversation about your business and what makes sense for you inside of your business. So feel free to go ahead and scan that. Of course, you can go to calendly.com/Kole Finley /strategy-session. You can go there. You can, by the way, private message me on Facebook if that's also helpful. And then for those of you who are not part of our Facebook group, here's where you can go if you'd like to join our Facebook group. It's facebook.com/groups/breakthrough RE. Find us out there. Guys, what a joy it was being with you today. So excited. Love that by Randy. Randy's got a QR code on everything. Way to rock on that, Randy. You're doing great. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm gonna let you get back to your powerful day. I will see you next week. Again, it's an extended 2-hour. It's all going to be on Open House Mastery. Can't wait to see you guys there. And we will see you next time. Bye.